Hi, this is Jean again, and this month we have Judith Beaver. We just call her Judy Beaver, but she is an amazing art quilter, and I want to read you her artist statement because I thought it was really well written. It says, "Color, pattern, play, and passion. These are the ingredients that make for a successful day in the studio. I'm particularly attracted to rich, saturated, and bold patterns, and I love the challenge of combining unusual design elements and color palettes that are playful and express a spirit of passion and joy. My work often begins with an inspirational piece of fabric around which I first build a color palette. Contrast and value are key design considerations. The various patterns and motifs must also play well together. I tend not to pre plan my work, but to work intuitively, responding to the pieces as it evolves. Creativity comes from within, and I strive to get out of my own way and just let it flow. And you're in for a real treat today. Judy is a good friend, and we're in a mini group together, and so I see her quite a bit. And I really enjoyed watching her develop as an art quilter. When she and her husband retired and moved to Sisters, I remember her taking the beginning quilting class from Lori. And look what she's doing today. Now, this first piece, Reach for the Stars, is 32 inches by 36 inches. It's $1,900 if you wish to purchase it. Um, it's an expression of hope, ambition, perseverance, and celebration. Fabrics used in this piece include both commercial and hand dyed fabrics. And she does a lot of dyeing and then printing on top and layering. You can see where this is layered on top, of a dyed fabric. And then she takes everything another step. There's machine quilting and hand embroidery stitches. So it's really a layer of interest and design and texture. She's also known for the interesting shapes that she um, comes up with, and you can see, especially in this piece, how it just feels like it's kind of been blocked and pushed together, and she's not squared it up, which I think is wonderful. So this next one is called Night Dream, and it's 54 by 42. Again, you can see that bottom area where it's not exactly straight. And when you see the whole exhibit, I think that these kinds of shapes really are prevalent in every piece that she's done. Um, this piece is $3,600. And one of the things that she did that I find very interesting is using the yellow thread for stitching just to add another layer of design. And then you can see the little yellow hand stitching in here. Um, but I think this layering seems to add so much depth to the design, and you also see scale changes. And I really like what she did with this piece, um, especially where she took the stripe and made that stripe really work for her, cut at all those different angles. Um, it, but yet it's the same color palette all the way through, and it really balances out the activity that you see on the left-hand side of the piece. And again, there's wonderful detail. Um, you look at these little squares that she's put, and here's another little one and another little one. And those just bits of interest. And then they're mimicked over here. I mean, just great design. And this piece is called The Promised Land, and it is 49 by 59, and it is not for sale. And I think it's because it's one of her favorite pieces. Okay, this one is called Moonlit Garden, and I watched this one come alive. And she worried and worried and went back and forth when she was working on it. And all of a sudden, it just came together. Um, and this piece is 71 by 48. And I'm going to read the artist statement because I really like it. It is just past midnight, and the moon is shining through the trees, scattering light across the ground as the shadows move from left to right. On the left, everything looks dark, only black and gray. Looking to the right, you can see the pattern of leaves and flowers, a lovely array of textures and motifs. In the brighter lit areas, you are able to discern the green color of the leaves and perhaps see the night dew sparkling in the moonlight. And this piece is 5,000. And I think it's an amazing story that she has told as you travel across the piece. And adding this bit of foliage up here and really emphasizing it with the green stitching. And then this is a metallic thread that she quilted with, so that gives a little bit more added sparkle to the piece. And, you know, seeing the circles represented in so many different ways adds a nice touch to the piece also. And you notice in these where she has used a lot of hand-dyed pieces in those previous ones, most of this is commercial fabric. And she does have a place where she can buy fabric from Africa. And you'll see a lot of those pieces in her work too. Okay, this one is called Way Out West. It's 50 and a half by 59 and a half, and it's $4,200. And it was inspired by her love of the West and is expressed as textures, colors, and motifs drawn from past memories and experiences. The fabrics were designed and printed by the artist using Procyon MX dyes. Printing techniques include screen printing, roller work, stenciling, and scraping. Extensive hand stitching was added to enhance and echo the various design elements. The large triangle element is pieced from hand-printed fabrics and cork. So in here you can see the cork. And you know, you can buy cork that you can stitch through. It feels like just a heavy fabric, and it certainly adds a very nice texture. And it really seems to fit in with this Way Out West theme. And again, you see all these angles in Judy's pieces, and they add so much energy to the work. And she repeats them in a lot of different ways. This next piece is called the Cocktail Hour. It just makes me think of people clicking their glasses together, standing around talking. And, you know, at first I thought, oh my gosh, this felt so busy on the left. But you think about the chatter that goes on at a cocktail party and just all of that energy. And this piece just fits in and it makes me chuckle. It's 37 inches by 42 inches, and it is 2,000. This next piece is called Arizona Sunset, and the colors really speak volumes because this is what the sunsets feel like a lot of times in Arizona, especially when you start seeing when she cut up these pieces and stitch them together, just that feeling that you get of the layers of light as the sun is setting. This one is 38 inches by 46 inches, and it's $2,800. Another thing I want to point out on this one is what she's done with just traditional triangular shapes, but offsetting them, it created a really nice rhythm that kind of pulls you up the piece in terms of color. And then popping out to larger triangles, but lower contrast. And she has a magical way of designing. Okay, this last piece is called Jericho. It's 42 by 55 and a half, and it is not for sale. And I want to read the artist statement. According to the biblical story of Jericho, the Israelis marched around the walled city once a day for 6 days. On the seventh day, the men marched around 7 times with horns blowing, and after a tremendous roar, the walls of the city crumbled. This art quilt is pieced from African batiks, commercial fabric. Hand embroidery provides additional interest, echoing the chevron motif and the other design elements. I hope you get a chance to come in and see this exhibit. It's just a feast for the eyes, and there's so much to be gained by taking a close look at some of the things that Judy's done and some of the fabrics she's put together. I just am so proud of her and how she has grown as an artist, and I think this work is just exquisite.